Good morning. It's Monday, May 13th. I'm Karen Hamstra, and welcome to Title Talk. I have a lot of books to show you today, so we're going to get rolling and move right through them. The first one is The Wonder of Lost Causes by Nick Trout. It's a novel. It's about a veterinarian who has a child with cystic fibrosis, and she will do anything to fight for his every breath. Of course, a dog who's in just horrible shape turns up. The dog is named Whistler, and his bond with her son is instantaneous. It says Whistler never makes a sound, yet he speaks to Jasper in a myriad of mysterious ways. The clock's ticking, the dog's future hangs in the balance, and Jasper would do anything to find him a home, but Whistler has chosen them for a reason. So if you like heartwarming dog stories, there's the book for you. Then we have, by Mary Beth Mayhew Whalen, Only Ever Her. This is a Southern novel. Anne Taft's wedding is 4 days away. It will be one of the grandest anyone can remember in her small South Carolina town. Preparations are going right along, except that Anne herself has vanished. Did she have second thoughts, or has something much worse happened to her? As the days pass, the list of suspects in her disappearance grows. While her loved ones frantically try to track her down, they're forced to grapple with their own secrets with the power to reframe entire relationships, leaving each to wonder how well they really knew Annie and how well they knew themselves. Only Ever Her. Along the same vein, Such a Perfect Wife, and you'll notice how the words are kind of skewed there. By Kate White. This is a Bailey Wiggins book, in case you're into that series. A woman drops her child off to kindergarten, and she never returns. So is her husband lying when he says he has no clue where she is? Could she have gone on her own? Is she the victim of a sexual pervert? True crime writer Bailey Wiggins, on assignment for the website Crime Beat, heads north from New York City to report on the mysterious disappearance. An anonymous tip soon leads Bailey to a grisly, bone-chilling discovery. Every town has its secrets, Bailey reminds herself, and nothing is as perfect as it seems. She keeps digging for answers until, when it's almost too late, she uncovers the terrifying truth. Such a Perfect Wife by Kate White. Thomas and Beale in the Midi by Christopher Tillman. This book takes place in 1892, and it covers the story of Thomas Bailey and Beale Terrell, the white son of a landowner and the black daughter of a farm worker, on a Chesapeake estate post-Reconstruction in Maryland. They have gone to France in order to be able to live as husband and wife. And so they begin their new life together in Belle Epoque, Paris, where Beale, beautiful, indelible, thrives on the subject of fascination among a gaggle, among a gaggle of American artists. Thomas struggles to plan a future and decides to buy a winery in the southwestern region of France called Languedoc. In this rugged landscape, Thomas begins his career as a vigneron, but it is here, back in the farm life she thought she had left for good, that Beale must figure out what her marriage has made of her and who she wants to be. So it's a novel of Americans in Paris, the art life of the bustling Latin Quarter, and emigres in the fashionable 7th arrondissement. Thomas and Beale in the Midi, Christopher Tillman. The Paris Diversion by Chris Pavoni. Certain theme going on here today. C.J. Box highly recommends this novel, since he exploded onto the scene with The Expats, Chris Pavoni has quickly become one of the elite, must-read, can't-miss thriller writers working today. And American expat Kate Moore drops her kids at the international school, makes her rounds of chores, and meets her husband Dexter at their regular cafe. Across the Seine, tech CEO Hunter Forsyth stands on his balcony, wondering why his police escort just departed and frustrated that his cell service has cut out. Hunter has important calls to make, not all of them technically legal. And on the nearby Rivoli, Mahmoud Khalid climbs out of an electrician's van and elbows his way into the crowded courtyard of the world's largest museum. He sets down his metal briefcase and removes his windbreaker. That's when people start to scream. What happens next? Read it and find out. The Paris Diversion, Chris Pavoni. The Flight Portfolio by Julie Oringer. This is recommended by Michael Chabon, among others. Here is this newest book by her. The Flight Portfolio tells the story of one young American's quest to save the lives of artists and writers fleeing the Nazis after the invasion of France. Varian Fry, a Harvard-educated journalist and editor, recognized the darkness descending over Europe and decided to take action. With a group of like-minded New Yorkers, he formed the Emergency Rescue Committee, whose mission it was to help threatened artists and writers immigrate to the States. In 1940, he flew to Marseille as the committee's on-the-ground leader. He procured false passports, secured visas, sought out escape routes, all while under profound pressure and in a state of irrevocable personal change. Among his many clients were Hannah Arendt, Franz Werfel, André Breton, Max Ernst, and Marc Chagall. So a lot of name dropping in this novel. If you like historical fiction set in World War II, check out The Flight Portfolio. David Weber has a new science fiction book, The Gordian Protocol, and it's subtitled Time is a Harsh Mistress. And it's about history professor Benjamin Schrader, who lives a happy life. He has a job and a profession he adores. And then everything changes. A student's dissertation on Operation Oz, the Pacific Allies' invasion of Vladivostok, staged through occupied Japan to meet their Imperial German allies, sets off a psychotic episode in Schrader. It has to be psychotic, right? So, science fiction aficionados, here we go. And our last fiction book is The Daughter's Tale by Armando Lucas Correa. Lisa Wingate, who's quite a popular author, recommends this book. Kristen Harmel. It is a historical fiction book. It takes place in Berlin, 1939. The author of this also wrote the bestseller The German Girl. The dreams that Amanda Sternberg and her husband Julius had for their daughters are shattered when the Nazis descend on Berlin, burning down their beloved family bookshop and sending Julius to a concentration camp. Desperate to save her children, Amanda flees to the south of France, where the widow of an old friend of her husband's has agreed to take her in. Along the way, a refugee ship headed for Cuba offers another chance at escape, and there at the dock, Amanda is forced to make an impossible choice that will haunt her for the rest of her life. Once in Haute-Vienne, her brief respite is interrupted by the arrival of Nazi forces, and Amanda finds herself in a labor camp where she must once again make a heroic sacrifice. The Daughter's Tale by Armando Lucas Correa. Sounds like a good book. Anna Quinlan has a new book called Nanaville, Adventures in Grandparenting. This is not a novel. This is a nonfiction book that can be found at 813.54 QUI. And it is, of course, her experiences about being a grandma. Then for the pet lovers among you, we have a new book called The Cat Lover's Craft Book. Cute and easy accessories for Kitty's best friend. Just has all kinds of neat stuff in it. The author is Nico Shugai. It can be found at 745.5 SHU. And not to slight the dog lovers among us, we have fun accessories to sew for your dog. 23 cool things to make for your dog. And this is by an author who is simply known as Tink, T-I-N-G-K. And it is at 646.45. And then last but not least, for the seniors amongst us, we have My Online Privacy for Seniors by Jason R. Rich. We have put this in the large print collection. It's not huge print, but it is considerably larger than normal print. And this can be found at 005.8 RIC. And it will be in the new book collection of the large print items on the main floor. So we hope you'll stop by and check out some of these new books, and there are many other great books on the shelf, and this is just a small representation of the new books we put out last week. Hope to see you next week. Happy reading!